Hello everyone, welcome to part 5. We are making an enemy that runs towards you, the player. Last episode we got the logic to a pretty good point. Now in this episode we're just going to go over the damage stuff. Now it's pretty complicated because damaging and getting damage has a lot to do with the player. So actually the best thing to do, all my logic for damage is from the official bulk tutorial, which I'm going to leave a link in the description below. You should follow that tutorial. I bet most who play around with bulk already have followed that tutorial. So if you just use the damage components in that tutorial for this, you'll be fine. Basically, I'm just going to go over what they are. So this here is damage on the enemy. So we have to have a health variable, which I've just added, a argument, which is an integer of 1, I believe, on my weapon. So a figure of 1 will come down this wire. When this is activated, we'll subtract health by 1. So if health is 3, it will become 2. Yes. And that gets set on the health variable. When the health variable is at 0 through this wire, and it is equal to 0 here in this comparison, then true, this will flow through here and this guy will die. If that wasn't true, then this flow would go through false and he would be hurt or damaged. So that's the first step. The second step would be over here at the start, and you do it at the start of these states, you have an alive and a dead. And you just simply transition from the alive to the dead. And in the damage, the transition is here, trans dead. Then we have in here, trans dead. Now you could probably just copy my screens here by pausing it, or probably best just to get very familiar with it in the bulk tutorial, the official one, which I will leave a link in the description below to that because it is awesome. Right, the next thing is when you come in contact with the enemy, you have to be damaged. So in damage, where the enemy gets damaged, I also have the super unit for where the player gets damaged, which is just same thing. It's in that tutorial. On collision with player, that's the tag. Put a trigger with an argument of 1, custom event to cause a health decrease on the player. So it's pretty much the same thing as what the enemy has, a health variable. So that's that. Now I've played around with the settings a little bit with this guy. So I made this bigger, I made this bigger. I want to get him acting quite realistic in my scene. Well, less jerky, and we're just going to see how that all goes. I know how it goes, but I'm going to show you. Another thing that I've done is in the idle state, I want to set up a, when it goes into idle, because it's a capsule collider, if it gets caught on the corner here and he slides down, when he goes into idle, he'll actually have momentum and be sliding along the ground in idle, which looks kind of weird. So I'm going to cancel that out now by, as soon as he goes into idle, I will have set, and I'm not learning that, set velocity should come up. Set velocity, this one, I'll go 0, pass the flow through, and in the variables I'm going to grab that fall variable. I'm going to create this, the fall in the y and 0 in the x, so continually it will be updated for him to stay still when in idle, so he will not slide along the ground. So let's just see what this all looks like. Oh, and another change that I made in the jumping, I decided to replace the add force with a set velocity. So it was this thing and I got rid of it. Seems to be a lot more reliable. So here we go, make this bigger and start moving around. Yes, he jumps nicely and it looks fairly good. The fall is fairly good, and when you move away too far he will give up. So he gave up right there. He's in idle mode. Can't see that, but he's given up. And let's see if we can get him given up over there. So try staying there and then come on. I know. If we change this to free aspect and I make it full screen, might be able to. So no, okay. Are you this way? I'm still in the radius, so he won't give up, but if I'm out of it, yeah, out of the radius and in the jump, he has given up. So now he starts up because the box behind sees me, and he's given up again, and it just looks good. So that's cool. So this chap can take my health, yeah. He has a value of 1 health himself. And if I hit him like this, he stops and, well, he doesn't die. So we have to set that up. He's in the death state, but I haven't connected everything because I want him to play a dying animation. He's still running while he's dying. It looks weird. So let's do that right now. In ProMotion, which is my pixel art editor of choice, I've made these 3 sprites. So hair goes grey, and hair goes grey to white, and this is the death animation. These 3 images, and this is what they kind of look like down here. Yep, nothing too flash. Could animate the arms as well, but for now this is good. I'm going to save those and I'm going to import those and flash them onto this object. Okay, so if I navigate to my mini folders and runner, we'll go sprites. I'm going to import new asset and enemy tribe, and I think actually no, that's the wrong one. Tiles. Where the bad guys? Don't know why I call it bad guys. Runner, and this is the die. Great, we have this quickly. 16 and none. Sprite editor, yeah, whatever. Slice. Get rid of this one. and move the pivots. Then I can remember them too, because I put them in such a good spot the first time. To here, apply, close, open. I can just do it on the prefab in the scene. I will go animation, create new clip, run or die, and in animation, run or die, or dead. Probably should have done dead. Run or dead, and let's just put those all in there like that. And I always put the second one in, the last one in twice. Let's get rid of this so we can see it. Blah. That's happening really fast. Let's change that to be a bit slow. So we'll go 10. We'll ease in. Then we'll do 20. Then this one will take to the 60th frame. So blah. Could be too slow, so yeah, I'm going to change that. I'm going to put that to 20, that to 30. Yeah, that's probably going to be good. Good enough for now. So in the, I don't want this to loop. It won't loop anyway because you'll die before it gets a chance to loop, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to trigger the destroy function. So stop that because it's driving me crazy. Let's just take that loop away just for the sake of it. It makes me feel good. I'm going to move this little bar to here. You can put it right at the end, that's fine, but I'm going to stick it just there. And I'm going to put one of these add event buttons or little notches. And this has popped up on this side. I'm going to add a string here. This is an animation event. And I'm going to put, now normally you select this, so if I delete that and I put it back again, for some reason, I don't know why it hasn't. Okay. It's, well, normally you have to choose an animation event in some drop down box, but for some reason it's already there. So in the string, I'm going to put runner die. So this is under the umbrella of animation. Back here, we will do the dead sequences. And okay, so the dead sequence, if we go into dead, on state enter, first thing to do, set the layer to enemies invincible. So this guy can't get hit again or anything like that. And you can't touch him. You're safe. He cannot hurt you in this layer. Next thing I have here, and I've put this in, this is just a counter. So enemy runner die count. So I like to keep a variable which counts how many times a certain enemy dies for whatever reason, for triggering doors opening or something like that. And I then freeze the body, the rigid body. It's static, so it will just freeze. Even in midair, it will just freeze, and it will play the animation runner die. Now that's the same as this, which will play this string. So I'm not going to wire that to there in the flow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this away, and I'm going to choose something called an animation event, animation event, and you want named animation event, and we want to get that string. So it was, don't get confused, I've used the string runner die, which is the same name as this, but this is a string within the animation event, not the animator, so it's not going to get confused. If I plug that into there, when this bar hits that little notch, it will trigger this start event. This is like a start event, and then it will destroy the guy. And I'm going to just take that away. That's something else. I've got a few variables that I'm going to be doing for recovery of enemies and for a harder difficulty that I can have presets. So let's try this. I have not pre-tested this. This is all just live here, and we are going to see, and if this works, let's go to full screen, and yes, right, we're not going to kill you straight away, just get a feel here, and we're going to alright, so dead but didn't destroy. So why is that? Let's have a look. Run a die. I don't think it triggered. So if I go to the animation, okay, we'll get out of there. If I go to the animation for runner and have a look at the little notch thing, that's not the right animation, that one. And I look at this. No function state. So obviously what's happened is we've had a glitch. So we get to do it again. That's that drop box I was talking about. So drop down that box. I was so confused too. Trigger animation event. There's a lot of cool things there that you can play around with. And runner die. Now I hope that doesn't cause problems in some other areas of the game, because that would be not good. Let's try that again. So it's always something when you go to play. It's always something. And back here again. Let's make it bigger again. Sorry about that. A bit all over the place. We'll just kill him here. Oh, I'm facing the wrong way. Kill him here. Gone. So that's the death animation. It's pretty cool because you know that you killed him. It gives the player a feeling that their hit did something and that something happened. The next thing to do would be to put an effect on that, like either fade him out while he's doing that, or have like another bunch of, have some particles going everywhere, or blood and bones going everywhere. Another object that plays that. So cool. Alright, so that